One of the basic needs of man in life is shelter. It is very important. In fact, it's so important that if you look at Maslow hierarchy of need, is right at the basement, right beside food and clothing. Shelter is imperative. It can come in different forms. Some people will tell you that they have shelter under the bridge, but that's not the kind of shelter we're talking about. That is not actually very humane. We're talking about the real ones. People move from the villages to the urban cities, including Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Calabar, all of our states, Kano included. And when they get there, maybe for want of better life, maybe also because they're on transfer, the first thing that hits them is high rent. And it doesn't look as if it's getting any better. Daily people are crying. Daily people are being ejected from where they are living, from their comfort zones to the streets because of a high or increase in rent. Sometimes it's quite unreasonable, and we are asking the question, why? Why is it so? What can be done differently to ensure that people get to eat, wear clothes, and live in their house? My name is Elizabeth, and the show is Conversations, and I have my pretty ladies and a gentleman in the house. Let me start with Coach Didi. Coach.
Hello, good morning. My name is Maimuna Umi Abdullah, aka Coach Didi.
Okay.
And my name is Titi Lola.
Titi Lola, okay.
I'm Joy. It's good to be here this morning.
All right.
Kevin Fineface, it's a pleasure to sit amongst beautifully blessed ladies. Look forward to the conversations.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. So if she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
Right, Kevin, I'm just wondering, do you have a house to go back to?
Yeah, I do. I have a home to go back to.
I like the way you changed that. I was very intentional. I said, do you have a house? And you told me you have a home. That's a smart one.
Yeah, because it could be a house and not habitable. But the home is something that you find the love you desire, the security that is expected. And it's something that is missing. As a country, we don't have that national consciousness to make provision for homes for people to be there. And that's why we find some of those fallouts that takes place. I was driving through Durham somewhere before the American International School, and my car got into the gutter. There was this garden area there. I saw people coming out from the garden area, like a green area, and I noticed that people live in there.
Oh.
Now, not only that, a lot of drugs taking place there also.
Because the law enforcement agents may never be able to get up to that place.
They likely will do, but you have a situation where people find solace when there's no provision. They have makeshift provisions. You made mention in your introductory under the bridge. I've been there. I saw people under the bridge in Abuja. Yeah. They have homes like being designed. Businesses going on one side, then people are living on another side. You have people who live in their shops.
Batches, construct batches.
So they construct batches. Why should we have things like that? When I came to Abuja in 1999, where I live currently today happens to be more like a mixture of bush and developing area. 20 years after, it's well developed. But what I notice is the fact that people tend to create safe places for themselves. The government comes in tomorrow to say illegal occupants and demolish everything that they've done there. Why can't government put the infrastructure, the road, the water, the light, so that people know how to build what they need to build? Then you wait for them to finish, then you come and scatter it.
Okay.
So I guess that's part of the reason why we have the case.
But can I butt in?
Okay.
People cannot decide to go and build somewhere without authorization.
Agreed, without authorization. But where there's a failure of the government in making provision. People, you came into the city to survive. I give you my experience. I came into Abuja in 1999, transferred officially to work here in Abuja, but was not given accommodation. Was not given allowance to get accommodation for myself. How to start squatting with a friend, who sometimes, if his girlfriend comes around, I have to sleep outside. Sorry. I have to sleep outside, or I'll go to the reception of an office to sleep. Imagine if I do not have that moral and that support system from my friend. What do you think will happen? I need to survive, isn't it? Yeah. I also need to go to work, and you can't even complain.
I'm just wondering, at that time you came, how much was a regular a room or 3 bedroom?
Maitama will cost like less than $1 million. I know we said close to Transcorp, it was about $1.2 million for a 3-bedroom as at that time. Yeah. And I know a friend who lived in that place. But today I don't think you can get that anymore.
It's about $7
Where I
million.
live in the Godu area, a 2-bedroom is going up to $3 million, and it's
2-bedroom.
Yeah, it's going up to $3 million. You find some. The one that is actually $1,800,000 to $2 million is not well finished, so you can get that. But why should it be so? There are reasons these things are happening this way.
No, I'm also wondering, has there been increase in income of people, commensurate to the...
No.
Of course
No.
not.
Nothing like that.
We're all on survival mode.
Yeah.
So what happens is that I live in a place where it's $2 million probably. I have to look at the kind of job I do. If my salary can't pay, I find ways for it. If my job can give me means, which means I have to breach the law, the rules, to get more. Either I still cheat or kill to do that, or I find other means to do other businesses outside of my. So I don't have the right time to go to work as much as I'm supposed to be doing because I need to pay the bills. Also, the fact that my kids are going to private schools, so I need to also meet up with the private schools demand. If the government make provisions for public schools, good healthcare, then housing, why should public servants be living in private places? Private homes. Why should they be living in private estates? Public servants are supposed to be living in government quarters, so that they know the period that they're.
Government quarters have been sold.
Yeah, they've all sold them.
They've been sold.
So that the period they know they're in those places, they are
sold.
covered. Okay, if you have sold, why are you not making provision for them to meet up with the current realities? If I should buy fuel for $6.20 to $6.40 per liter, how do you expect to come to work when you don't have good public transport system?
Wow. Anyway,
There's too much.
someone actually wrote into us here, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to carry that particular message down here, but I think I got the gist of it. She said that she reached out to us that we should help, that her landlord has increased their house rent for as much as 80%. And the times there's no increment in her salary, wherever she works.
She has to leave.
And times are really hard. I'm wondering, what would you say to such a person? I mean, she actually wrote to the house.
What do I say to such a person? Unfortunately, we have Shylocks. It's a pity. It's the reality. Because they will start talking dollars why they've increased, and I'm wondering, did you just build the house?
No, there are correlationships that you need to look at.
Like what?
The cost of maintenance has also increased.
Who is maintaining the house?
No. This woman said if we wanted as conversation home, she
Yeah.
was ready to open up. There is no maintenance.
Who told you?
There's a rent tribunal in
Okay.
Abuja here.
Okay.
There's a rent tribunal you can actually put your case forward. Now, but
Why are you talking like this, man?
No. You see, as much as we don't really have that much faith, it's also good to try it. There's a rent tribunal. The landlord have costs that he has to take care of every day. The essence of the building was to be able to take care of his costs. And so when the cost increases, the person that will pay for it is whoever uses his assets. The consumer is the biggest,
Victim of
victim
this.
of this
Victim
whole
is the thing.
Yes.
So what do we do? I think it's not to look at the landlord or the tenant, is to look at the government. Government is established, to make enabling environment possible for businesses to thrive, for people to have, a meaningful means of livelihood. When the laws are not helpful, when your regulators are constantly on your neck, coming up, you have multiple regulators in the city that comes up with different types of charges. There was a day they came from AMAC, said I need to pay water and sanitation, Then they also talked about they talked about
Radio and TV
fumigation.
license. Inside house.
Yeah, they
I don't understand.
They do. They came up with fumigation, right? There's environmental. Now the fumigation, you have to pay about 100 and something thousand, and it must be the persons or the company that they've approved to do that. You have to come certificate. Then you now have environmental people, the earth workers, come up with their bills. By the time I looked at everything, it's close to about $1 million. So
who is supposed to pick this bill? Is it the landlord or the tenant?
Now, the landlord is supposed to, you also have tenement rate that comes in. The landlord is supposed to be the one to get, but the tenants will share the bill. Now, depending on your MOU with your landlord, depending on your tenancy agreement, it's subject to that. If the tenancy agreement says the landlord takes the bill, the landlord factor into your rent and you pay for it, or you take care of your daily or your monthly waste bills and all of those things. So you ask yourself, why are we doing all of these things? Why do we have this multiple? They had to write to the AMAC. They say, look, as a retiree, I'm not supposed to be paying tenement rate.
Who is the retiree?
Me.
Oh, wow.
I'm not supposed to be tenement rate. I've served this country. I served this country, but I'm not supposed to be tenement rates. There's supposed to be provisions where you create people who have actually done service. You should have some compensation so they
are retiring.
So it reduces the burden. You cannot expect me now to pay all those bills and expect that, I've done for that Christmas. No, it will go through my services or product. So if you come to rent my space, then of course it's factored in.
You know why I'm laughing? Even the ones that have worked.
Veterans.
Pension. They are begging government to pay them their pension. You are talking of factor. Look, forget it. See, let me tell you, the system is bad. You see, the prayer many people pray for is that may God give them the means to have their own houses.
I'm not free.
No, you see, let me tell you, even have houses again.
It's a problem.
And all those, you are going to pay these charges, you are going to pay these charges. Sometimes I sit down and wonder. You see all the trash in the bin, everything is all spilled over. Nobody is coming to take it. Then the next thing they will come again with the bills and all that. You see, we can go on and on in this country.
When they come with the bill and you tip them, he was saying something
they will
like
cancel it.
They will cancel it.
Yes, they'll cancel it.
Or they will get that for that moment.
Yeah.
After 2-3 weeks,
yeah, they will come another.
Back.
No, 3
And
weeks.
you keep-
Let me tell you. Let me tell you what happens.
And you keep tipping like
Let
that.
me tell you what happens. You know what they've done? They changed them.
Yeah.
So you have tipped that
The first
particular
set.
one. When the new set comes in, let me tell you, in all these places that are supposed to be normal houses where you just live, when you go to is it FCDA, that regulator place, they now said, okay, if you want to use this as an office, these are the charges you pay for it. Development control, which is wrong. These places cannot be used as commercial. They have changed it to Lagos. All those years when I used to live on Awolowo Road and all the off Awolowo Road, they were what do you call it? Residentials. Then now they have all changed. Lagos has come here because everywhere that is supposed to be residential
Is that commercial?
is now commercial. So you that are looking for residential, they want to drive you out. If they don't want to drive you out, where would you pay Metama per annum 5 million?
Sure.
Then they'll be telling you that after paying the 5 million, they don't take 1 year.
2 years.
So what income, how much are you making? You have not even paid all the other charges. Then you are paying 10 million. For how many rooms?
Can I butt in? The lady that asked the question will not answer that
Yes,
question.
exactly. I was coming to that.
You have to move.
Your
That's what
rent,
you're supposed to rent.
your rent has
I
been
told
increased,
you.
but your means has not increased. Do you think you can meet up to the new rent?
No.
Would they ask him?
Obviously, no. Otherwise, you wouldn't be reaching out
If
to
you
us.
know that you cannot reach the new rent, and to just start to move, start to make a plan, look for something you can afford, and move there.
It's better.
As that. Because
It's
if
better.
you say you want to drag this matter, you will not have peace of mind. You'll be stressed, and it is not necessary.
Okay.
And you know the funny
Please, let me
wait, I'm sorry. I want to say, you see, this thing you said, I met a friend. My friend said, okay, the landlord saying weekend, no problem. So you know what she has done? She keeps taking the guy to court. So what she's doing is that every year she takes the guy to court. Every year she takes, so she's still there.
Yeah.
So between the landlord and her, who is losing?
No, but at the end of the day, she might likely going to pay because after the judgments, you'll find yourself.
She might
that
spend
you
money
pay.
going to court as well.
You pay for it.
And many
I
tenants,
want
that's
to
the trick many tenants use.
That's the trick many tenants are using. And that is what they are doing here.
Mr. Kelvin, you see, in an ideal situation, everything Mr. Kelvin said about whatever
In Nigeria.
is ideal situation.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, we have the reverse. So let's work according to our own terms. Reality. Thank you, sir. The reality here in Nigeria. We have said to the lady, go and get a place you can afford. Then I said he was talking about the ideal situation. I'll still go back to the government because all the problems lies on our government. They don't have our interests at heart. They only, selfish. They are just selfish. It's their own interest. If they had our interests, we have housing estates. When I was growing up in Kaduna, I lived in low cost. Yes, you know low cost.
Yes, I do.
You have high cost, you have
low cost.
and you have houses that government built, and you get in there after some time, you start paying, and it becomes yours. Why have we stopped all that? No.
That's why you have the Federal Mortgage Bank and the National Housing Scheme that's supposed to
you have mortgage bank for which house?
Exactly.
As
a civil servant, they deduct money from my salary
every month.
Yeah.
For federal National Housing Scheme. Have I been able to access it?
You will still get the money back by the time of it.
Yes,
they will die.
They don't even
not retire,
access
die.
that money.
If you follow it up, you can get
like
it.
I said, is the government.
There's supposed to be a rent to own scheme.
They should
where
come
government
back to us and aid us so that we can live a better life.
I think it's
Not
early
to-
2000 to
That's
early 2000 to mid 2000. The FCTA administration came up with the mass housing scheme. Yes.
Where are they?
No, I'm going to give you the gist. They came up with the mass housing scheme. They allocated plots in the hectares of land to developers for free. They didn't pay for it. They didn't pay a dime for it. I knew of so many persons who got these things. A lot of them didn't develop those places. The ones who finally did much later actually did not provide affordable housing for people.
Yeah.
What we now saw was a money laundering scheme that started taking place. A lot of government officials and some individuals who have embezzled funds pumped in this money to those mass housing schemes. Bought them much more than the values that they were. And so you have empty spaces across the city. You go to big housing estates and there are no people living there, but those places have all been bought over by people. Then the new administration came and said, okay, those who have not started building on the mass housing scheme, they want to revoke the plot. And what I saw from experience, the officials of government threatened to want to revoke, start selling those plots to themselves and resold to the public again. So a plot, an housing estate plot that was supposed to be free was now you paid, as at that time you paid like 20 million, they give you the allocation, it's now resold to another person for more than that amount of money. So by the time those people they look for off-takers. The off-takers are the same ones who finally maybe got some little money to want to push it to their bought the plot of land for maybe 2 million and say you are expected to build a prototype house. You go to Federal Mortgage Bank to give you a housing, they don't give you. So you have to go to primary mortgage, bank to get the funds. Guess what? You have to pay like 15% instead of the 6% you're supposed to pay from the Federal Mortgage Bank solution. The Federal Mortgage, they said the queue is long.
Yes.
That's the excuse. But you go through this other private mortgage bank, you get the loan, you now have to pay 9% extra. Even at that, you see extra fund you're going to pay. The question now is that why is nobody being punished for doing the wrong?
Exactly.
And I can tell you the reason, one of the reasons is because those of us sitting here now have not been involved in the political processes of this country. We have allowed people who truly do not have any business being in government. In quotes, we call them leaders, but they actually misfit opportunities in position of authority. What they now do is simply to secure themselves and their future and their children's future. So they earn so much money. They buy houses in Metama for 2 billion naira, for an instance, and they don't care about what you think and all of this. So they push everybody out of the city center, so it becomes the elite class.
Yeah.
So if you can't meet up with the Joneses, then forget it.
You said something.
Mm.
Look, I don't know. You said you just retired in civil service. Can't you remember our guys at the top that time? We used to sit down together and we criticize them, what they're doing wrong, how they are busy amassing wealth, their side phoning funds, And then as we are growing, the same us that we've become Oga and we're doing the same thing.
No, but do you know? Let me give some credit to the military. Why do I say that? When it comes to housing, I think the former officers had issues when, after retirement, they didn't have houses. But what the military has done now is that government gives them land, free land, like you said. Yeah. And they now do, what do you call this thing?
They have their development companies.
Yes, they all have. All the sectors, I know the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. And the good thing now is that if you're a civilian, you can get it as well. Yes. You can live there as well.
How?
Through.
You buy it.
Through.
You go through
your nose.
Yeah.
Through.
No, you buy it
outright.
See, you buy it outright.
And I say through.
No.
You don't buy it normally like the military people buy it.
No, you cannot. Because it's you see, the thing here is that they are the ones that have worked. And they should be given preferential treatment.
Exactly.
Because that's your
Joy,
benefit.
let me cut you
No.
right,
You know what? No, do you know why I'm telling you that?
Yes.
You said you have worked. Where you have worked, you have not benefited. They are doing something wrong. The military is doing something right. And what they tend to do is that they take it out of your salary.
Gradually.
Which I think is better. That is why when you go to build in the military places, you cannot make those 100% profit. I'm in the system, I do it so I know. Because if they're not doing it right, I will tell you. Whether in every sector, they might have some corner.
As usual.
But let us give the military kudos when it comes to housing.
All right.
As much as I want to give them credit, we live in this country, I also know that they are not supposed to sell to the public until they finish selling to themselves.
Yes, the military.
Officers and men of the service. Most of the fact that the provision that is designed for these housing schemes is to ensure, not only just when you live, is to ensure that at least you have a livable space want you to put your this. But you know what? They have so commercialized it and it's so profit endearing that they don't care about the web. So only a few persons, 60%, less than 50% of those people benefit from these housing schemes.
Yeah, less than.
They're less than. See, we have them in our Sokoto down to Jukwe,
Not Valley and all that. But you know the difference. Let me tell you.
Not value.
No,
it's just a small.
But let me tell you.
No, but let me
tell you. No, let me tell you what again. Why do you want to stay in Asukuru?
Why don't I want to say that? Sokoto?
Let me
Class
tell you.
status syndrome is there.
No, see, it's a Nigerian.
It's not just class status. Honestly, the amenities are here.
Yeah, see, let me.
It's amenities.
Look, you see, because you see, there's a road, there's this,
power,
there's that,
water,
the market is.
water.
That's it. So you see, the thing here is that there is something fundamentally wrong. Every day we say it. This accommodation, it saddens my heart. I came here when I think I've been in Abuja now like 28 years. It was beautiful. At least it's easier for you to get 1 year rent and pay. Before the next year rent, you will have money. This time, even 6 months, do you know how people are paying rent? 3 months. You know, that is if you have a landlord who
That
you
is
have a
understanding.
relationship with and you've been there for a long time.
Actually, this renting, I think they should.
Monthly.
That's what I was going to say.
You're different.
It should be able to.
Yes.
We should get to
Why do you have
monthly
to
because
wait
we
for
pay.
1
We
year
are
to
paid
get
some
rent?
monthly.
Just like
Every
um,
month
You know.
pay.
Yeah, every other place. Now somebody is writing in from Karu. A new Karu said his house rent was 150, but this Christmas period, the landlord is asking them to pay 250, and there is no renovation, nothing. What do we do? Well, we'll give you the same answer
That's
somebody
even
gave
cheap.
us.
250 cheap.
It's still
No,
cheap.
you
About
don't know, Karu. You don't know the environment.
Which side of
No, I'm saying he said
kind of
it was
accommodation
150.
Okay, so
Now it's
100,000.
100,000 and
Okay.
because if you look at the cost of living,
No, but
Currently.
there's usually a percentage added.
that's why we
You know,
have the rent
usually when you are going to add,
Stop to the top
listen,
tribunal.
when
Which
you're going to
tribunal?
add increase, do increments. Increments
Let's
is said
start the system.
25%
Yes.
of what you're paying.
Yes.
That's what you're supposed to do. And 100,000 is more than
Inflation-
25.
no,
In
inflation in
Nigeria, a landlord can
Nigeria
wake up
is
and
not
just put anything.
25%.
Inflation.
Inflation in Nigeria is not 25%. Bread, a loaf of bread was 600 naira.
Egg is
About-
4,000 naira.
No, it's 1,100 now.
No, egg.
Egg is
It's about
egg is
4,000
yeah,
naira.
now.
crate.
Egg.
Now.
Egg.
Yes.
Yes.
Where are you buying
Mine is
from?
120.
See, Lizzie, you go to the market. I went to the market with my kids the other day to buy groceries, and I couldn't buy onions.
Yes.
Yes.
It was about almost
That's the
5,000.
goal.
I was told 90,000. A bag is 90,000.
Please, do you need dollars to
Yes.
No, you
to
do.
onions?
You
Yes. Yes.
You do.
They're all connected.
Isn't that woven?
They're so
Seriously.
connected.
The
so if it's
person
the landlord who
that
increases
is-
his rent
he
has
has
not
to
actually
survive.
done
Be
wrong.
honest.
But you see, as I said,
No, sir. I
No,
disagree.
no.
No, no.
No, me
That's
too.
no,
I agree.
listen now.
When you
Listen now.
increase too much,
The house. Is the landlord the person paying for the power?
No,
Is
they-
he the one paying the light bill?
the
No.
He's
reason why I
increasing
said-
too much.
The reason why I
Still
said
pay.
the landlord
It's
has
because
not
he's
done wrong.
he's a landlord.
No, the landlord has not done wrong.
Because he's a landlord.
No, it's not just because I'm a landlord. No, not because I'm
Excuse
a
me,
landlord.
sir. See, this issue of this
Yes.
landlords increasing, honestly, is wickedness.
Yes,
to me.
I agree.
I'll
To some.
use that word.
To some.
Yeah.
Because the truth remains that, just like I said, you are not the one paying the power bill. You are not the one
That's
paying
your consumption.
Yes, but why should you increase? Have you renovated the house? Has
No,
anything
but
changed
every 2
from
or 4
that
years,
house?
you're supposed to be renovated. You're supposed to be painting.
But they
I have
don't.
a landlord that
They
didn't renovate for good 8 years.
They don't renovate.
because you didn't
Many
meet
of
the
them
demand.
don't.
Who renovates?
We
Many
were
of
the
them
ones
don't.
renovating.
No, you have to put in your
and
bill,
we are
your
the-
rent.
Which he won't.
I don't understand.
He will not allow
Are you living in Nigeria?
No, but I do. I do. You know, because
I don't.
That is
I'm
you.
telling
I do.
you, you are talking
That is
about
you.
let me
yourself.
go. Let me
I
go.
do.
During COVID period, right? During COVID period, my tenants never paid a dime.
You were a
That
good
is
man.
you.
Yes.
You are a different person.
Wow.
I
They didn't
think
pay a dime.
what we should
Can we move
do.
to your...
Can we move to your house?
Let's
Maternal didn't
appeal
pay.
or appease the conscience of landlords. Honestly, they are not being fair.
Not
That's
all of
just
them.
the truth. Not all of them.
80%.
Some
Not all of them.
landlords. Okay, let me say
Some
landlords.
Some landlords. Let's appease their conscience that they should just look at the situation. Everybody is facing it.
Yeah.
Just like we said, they've not increased like a civil servant now, they've not increased the salary. Only that last month we received 35,000 naira as a palliative.
35,000.
Yes, 35,000.
Oh, really? I need to come back to civil service.
Yes, we did. We received 35,000, and we are still waiting. It's supposed to be in arrears.
You will not see anything
that is a
again.
promise. That is a promise that they are still going to pay, and people are eagerly waiting. You understand? And
some people have actually spent all that 35,000.
And everything in the market has increased.
Yes, school fees.
You understand? School fees.
Fuel has increased.
So for landlords to come and now increase again, that is wickedness.
No, it's not wickedness.
No, excuse me, sir. If you are not renovating your house, you are not adding any modern facilities to it, then why are you increasing?
You know the things that
Can I answer the question?
Mr. Landlord.
The landlord had invested in this asset.
Yeah, true.
In hope to make profit for a long term.
And they've made it.
For a long term basis. You do not expect the landlord, after investing in this asset, to now just follow and say, okay, let it be the same way when the bills of the landlord is increasing.
We are not saying you should not increase.
No, but I will not subscribe. I will not subscribe to.
He has retired. Listen, retired.
I will not subscribe to. I will not subscribe to a landlord who unnecessarily, astronomically increase the rent under the guise of things are hard. I always look at the inflation of the nation as a basis with which to look at things. When fuel price went up, I looked at it, I sat on my chair, I said, should we increase rent? I said, let's wait. Let's see what happens. But I noticed that to maintain the building was not coming down because it was going up. And so what do? We need to make an adjustment. We need to talk to everybody to say...
Sorry, Mr. Landlord, do you maintain every
Kevin
month?
Fineface. No,
do you maintain every month?
Not every month. The wear and tear of your building does not give you announcement, no notice. That a wind blows, then your roof, a part of your roof blows off. Guess what? You go to the market. You go to the market. What you now see is that the same amount you pay for your aluminum sheet has gone up more than 100%.
200%.
That there was a light outbreak because of a circuit breakout. You go to the market that you bought a cable for 2,500 for a 4mm cable, and you go to the market, it's no longer 2,500, it's almost like 8,000 naira. That cost cannot come from my pocket, because when the money was paid to me, the value of the money as at that time, as at this time, not the same thing anymore.
But who is saying that you should do it?
No, but you do it.
No. You see, let me tell you, if you rent a house, and you've already paid what you have to pay, if your roof is leaking, he's not the one staying in the house.
No.
Your landlord is not staying in the house.
It's the landlord's job.
No, it's the landlord's job.
It's the landlord's job.
It's the landlord's job.
You see,
because the roof that is leaking is not your fault.
It's the landlord's job.
You know why I'm looking at all of you, I'm laughing. I see people who are living in people's houses. Landlords are not doing anything.
You don't get it. They are not doing it, but it is
doesn't mean it's the right thing.
You see, it is supposed to be their job. And you know the funny thing, most of the time, I don't even want the landlord to do it. Because if they do it, they are going to see the cost. You know, their own painter will have more.
No. It's not. See, you know, your tenancy agreements actually outline so many things. But a lot of the time, because we're in order to move into a place, we don't read through this document. I've been a tenant in this city of Abuja. To date, the what they call it, okay, sorry, I'm not calling their name. They are still owing me money for my caution deposit that I put in there for more than 6 years. They've not even been able to give my caution deposit. The tenancy agreement stated what are the responsibilities of both parties, as expected, but we don't read. We don't
okay, let's look at one angle of tenancy agreement. It says, what does the law say about rent increase in Nigeria? And then I'll take a case study of Lagos. It says, under the Lagos State Tenancy Law 2011, specifically Section 37, a tenant can apply to court for a declaration that the increase in the rent is unreasonable, and the court has the power to determine whether or not the same is reasonable, taking due cognizance of a rent payable in similar apartments in the locality. In Nigeria. So a lot of times, like what you just said, I'm just going back to what he said. A lot of times, we're scared.
There are rent tribunals. You can actually test the system. They sit. but very few
You can
people.
hardly get justice on that land.
No, you will.
No, you can.
You
This is
hardly get
See,
justice.
like, okay.
Because of lack of faith.
Wherever you live, your landlord needs to be called out.
Nobody even wastes their time doing that because of lack of faith in the justice
Yes.
system. Who wastes their time
I
going to do
agree
that?
with you.
The judiciary, look,
I agree with you.
sorry
There's
to
lack
say,
of faith.
you
I
know,
agree
sorry
with
to
you.
say there's no judiciary.
There
So
is-
don't waste,
There is
okay.
judiciary.
No, there is.
All right.
There's no justice. Maybe there's
Okay,
no
maybe
justice.
there's no justice
I'm sure
there.
a lot
know.
of landlords and landladies
They are watching. Yes.
Please, a word of caution. It's very easy. I can get a house now, and the first payment of 1.5, I will pay very, very,
Then
quickly
later,
and easily
yes.
because I'm looking for a space.
Yes, then
to
later.
stay, I'll pay. But to pay the subsequent one, at least I've spent at least 10 years in Abuja, and with experience, I'm saying what I'm saying. And just like Auntie Joy said, that she has a friend, you keep going to court if you have the time, and you keep, staying rent-free.
Yes.
So I want to add,
There's nothing like rent-free. People don't
Yes,
understand.
rent-free.
I want to advise landlord a word of caution.
Yes.
Collect the one that
That
your
you
tenants can afford
afford.
and pay with ease, so that you won't be having, at least that one will, you will be able to use that one too to solve your financial issues that you want
There's
to solve.
something-
Instead of waiting every year,
There's
go to
something.
court all
There's
through the
something.
year
Some
without any payments.
landlords. I call them unfortunate landlords. Their dependency on the property they have, and dependency. I lived in a place where the moment I bought TV and had a few things, I bought a new car, my rent increased. Yes, it increased. I wasn't living in a place as a single guy, living in a place where, because I had my girlfriend visiting, the landlady actually said there are women in this compound, and daughters and all that.
Yes.
They do it. So there are some unfortunate landlords who that believe that that's the only means of survival. So every year they increase. Sometimes even 6 months they are threatening you because they want new people to come in.
Yes,
So they're threatening
yes,
with that. There are unfortunate ones like that, but there's a law that also checkmates them. Let us test the
Mr.
law.
Landlord.
No, let us test the law. I'm saying it because as a landlord, I'm saying it. Let us test the law. We've also seen tenants who come in with very strong ulterior motives. Like you say, you go to court, right? I had someone who came in through a friend, gave a procedure check, 5.5 million, but never paid that money until they left. Brought police, brought all those things. Now, in consider you took this person out of benevolence, but you get punished. The next person that is coming won't get that kind of benefit anymore, right? So you see, there is this cat and dog thing that is going on between tenant and landlord. So let us see how, as a society, we can do better. Why would even a landlord or somebody be thinking of having a place to get money from people if the government is making provision for it? Government is not making provision, so people are providing. So when they provide, it's premium. If you don't have public schools, people provide private schools, they give you premium rates. The same teachers in public schools are taken out of those places to those private schools. So if government make the enabling environment, make it easy for me to access the land, make it easy for me to have the material, make it easy for me, there's no way I can actually increase the price because morally it will be very wrong and I won't have the capacity to do so. So, but if I struggle through the process and I apply for land, I didn't get the land and I bought through third party, not even, sometimes fifth party, then you expect me to now not recoup my money. You do know that to build a standard home in Abuja, you at least spend 20 to 25 million for a 2 or 3 bedroom. How many years would it take to recoup that money? Every year.
Currently, 20-25 million would not build your house.
No, I'm saying to build a standard home, averagely 2 or 3 bedrooms. If you do efficient building solution, you actually get that 20 to 25 million. You can actually get that. If you go by 1 million naira per annum, it's 20 years to get that money back, and still not the value of the property.
Rather do block of flats.
You understand?
Makes more sense.
So what you
Makes
do
more sense.
is for people want to easily get their money back at least in a short time, so that they can get the right value. The amount of money you had yesterday, or let's say 6 months ago,
Praying to die.
if you had 20 million naira 6 months ago, today you have actually less than almost 10 million or less than 10 million naira. From 20 million to the value of the money you have now It's less than 10 million naira today.
So
what do you do?
Must they make their
survival.
tenants? Look, you know the funny thing.
It's the government's fault.
You know the sad part.
Why is everything the government's
No,
fault?
you see the
Yeah,
funny
because
thing.
we wouldn't get involved.
We already know
our own role.
Yes, you see.
What about us?
What about us? Yes.
You know
We
the thing.
can,
You know
but
the thing that
who's gonna hold us
saddens. You know the
accountable?
thing that saddens my heart. The people who are supposedly in government who have, I don't want to say anything, who have
More than you've already said.
yeah, who have gotten these houses, how their means of getting the money, I do not know. So I expect even them to be nicer, but they have refused to be nicer because I know they didn't work
to get
that money.
No,
But
they
you see,
worked. See, thinking is work.
all right, okay.
If you think and strategize.
Well,
I like that.
you know, I like what you are saying. That's street thinking.
Yes.
But you know the thing here, the thing that makes me laugh all the time is that I go past houses
They're empty.
and they are empty, and I'm sitting down and I'm saying, what kind of
Laundry.
landlords are this? That is when I now realize that most of the people who keep their house empty are using their house for money laundering.
Do you know how many people have
Yes.
died and they didn't even know it's their property?
Yes.
Had the security men that are renting out these houses.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because they have properties in different people's names.
They stole
the
money.
families don't even
That
know.
is
They
it.
don't-
They
the families don't even know.
stole money. They
That
stole
is-
money. They
that
have to
is
hide
it.
through it.
So that is the biggest problem. That is why most of the houses are living themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
They
I
are
was-
not human beings inside
Only
these
rats
houses.
and lizards.
That is it. So that is why.
As a member of the subcommittee, some time ago,
For landlords.
FCT Security Subcommittee,
Okay.
I'd actually
landlords.
suggested that those vacant homes should be taxed
How many times have they said they
heavily,
will do that?
right? But you know what they didn't do?
They'll be taxed.
No, you know what they didn't
They
do?
won't mind.
Because they're the owners of the houses.
Yeah, because those who are supposed to
They are
formulate
the
laws
owners of
Yes.
the
are
houses.
the owners of these houses.
That is it.
It
So
was
you
not
have-
difficult, or they're actually cronies to those
Yeah.
people. So
That's
it was not
it.
difficult. If we begin to tax those vacant homes, you will see how
This
thing will
matter
change.
has been on this
Because
table
You
for a long
cannot
time.
tax it because
You know,
they are the
I
owners.
lived
They
in a
tax
place.
themselves.
I lived in a duplex, a semi-detached duplex, as at 2008, and I paid 600,000.
You can't get
Unthinkable.
it now.
That's not too far.
Now you know why?
600,000.
Yes, you know
Yes.
why? You know why?
Yes.
The place was like when I isolated area.
Was
It
dead.
was, it was
Okay.
like nobody was coming to that place. They
Yeah.
were looking for people to come in because nobody was also buying the estate. They started renting in order to allow to get
Yes.
the money.
Yes.
If we have the tax law for those empty houses,
Yeah,
not for
they would
houses that
have
people are living in,
living
that they're
in.
already paying ground
Yes.
rent.
Yeah.
Because the mistake you see, the stomach is that I'm paying ground rent.
Yes.
We want to come and tax for the people that actually own
Yes.
again. In fact, sometimes it's actually better to rent a home than to actually have a home that
Agree.
you bought for yourself. Because
Yes.
if you look at the 20-year plan, you're paying much more as a homeowner than a rent as a tenant. Why
Yes.
should I be paying for a house that I own? I'm paying almost $1 million
Yes.
to maintain it,
Yes.
to pay for government regulators
All
and all
those
those things.
yes.
I should go and rent a space and take myself out of that business. So because you don't actually own anything for life, So
sad.
we need to look at those things. The laws need to be looked at. Citizens need to be involved in politics. I'm coming back to this point.
Yeah.
We need to be involved in politics because
I
it's we that know much. If we're not involved in the political processes, how do you formulate the laws?
But for you to do politics, you need money.
No, not that type of politics. You don't go for elective offices. Be involved in politics in the sense that
So how
you
will
want
you
to be
make change?
sure that the process with which people get into those elective offices actually well.
How do you
In
how do you
Nigeria.
do that
How do
without
you do
all
that?
politicians?
No, it's easy. It's
How?
easy.
No, how? Tell us, please.
The
How?
voter's card is the most powerful tool in a
I
democracy.
beg now, stop
we
it.
don't
Let's
vote.
leave that matter,
listen.
let's leave this matter.
It's the most powerful tool in democracy. It's also the only tool that legitimizes the office
Results
of
have
the
already
office.
been there even before the election.
You know why?
Stop
You know
it.
why? Because you've not been involved, it's easy for this system to always manipulate and carry out this
we
thing.
see them.
But if you're there on ground, I'll give you an instance.
Which
When I
ground?
voted the last time, we stayed until 5 a.m.
Where did you vote?
Gudu.
But
in
do
Kaduna,
you know why he worked
until
then?
5 a.m.
Do you know why he worked then?
And they could not change the system.
Because they
They
didn't.
wanted to.
They didn't. You know, we're all
Because
here.
we're involved.
We did the same thing. And did you know what happened? When that happened during that election, the next election, what happened?
Nobody
Because
showed
they were prepared. So results were already given before we voted.
Anyway, we're not talking
Anyway.
about it. I still want to go
Get
back
involved.
to rent.
Get involved.
I
It
still
will
want
help.
I still want to get back to rent. We've been talking and exhaustively so. And the sum total, my take home is that people should learn, to cash in on things within their environment. if your office, if you're a government worker, if your office acquires a land and they're giving out, houses to people on either mortgage or however, if you know about it, queue in and see if you can benefit from it, because however you put it, Kevin, I still believe that it's better for you to own your own than to be a rent payer, somewhere.
Listen, let me tell you,
But
I
then
paid
the
for a
question
house from my office cooperative
You never
since
got it.
2007.
You're still
To
waiting.
date, I've not seen my home.
It's true.
So you're still
Since
waiting.
We're talking
2007.
about the same system.
In fact, 2006.
You need to be sure of it.
How would you
I'll
be
be
sure?
sure.
Sure of what again?
Please,
Sure
Do you know how
what?
many
Sure
times
of what?
cooperative exco have
Since
stolen money
2006.
and nothing happens?
Since 2006, I paid for a place,
In
3
fact,
bedroom,
my office, the
terrace
are
building.
I'm
To
telling you,
date.
and they don't get sanctioned.
So
they
you
don't
tell
get
me,
punished.
as a
Because
civil
it's the
servant,
people that are up there.
as a civil servant, I cannot provide that security for my family. I made efforts, and since 2006 to date, I've still not been able to access that property. What kind of system
Does
is
it
that?
even exist?
I
Does the
know.
property even exist?
I mean, there's a carcass somewhere
same
there.
thing is
that's-
happening
They
in
said
my
there's a
office.
carcass.
Carcass
Is
somewhere
there?
there
Have you
that
seen
I've
it?
not been able
You
to
saw
get in.
carcass.
I'm sure you didn't see it.
You are
I
right.
actually saw the carcass.
With your name on it.
I saw my name on the block, right? Truly, I saw my name
Oh, the
on the
corner
block.
piece.
See,
On the
it's
share
sad.
property, but
You know
not
what?
accessed.
You know what? It's sad that we're laughing about it, but you see, that is the only way we can survive in this country. Because, and these people will be watching. When they have all these their seminars, they'll be speaking English, speaking big grammar.
Poverty is weaponized.
Yeah, that's the truth. Even the federal mortgage. And what I always say is that you can only sleep in one room, you can only stay in one house. So when I see
one
these
bed.
people amassing, one thing I always say, it's all vanity, because the day you're going to die, they are not going to put all these your houses inside your grave.
They don't know.
Okay, so just before we
don't
go,
know.
last question from somebody here says, I want to buy a land in Abuja, but I'm scared because of the kind of agents around. I even tried to get a house. I even tried to get a rented house, and I was also due by agents. Oga landlord,
terrible
please
one.
tell us, how can I know a genuine land and agent?
Simple. Go to a government office responsible for that. In Abuja, for instance, the best place to know a genuine land is to go to Aegis. Now, if you also need to know where the land is. If you're somewhere in a poor resettlement, there's a department responsible for that, not Aegis. But every other land is Aegis, because all the lands are actually been gazetted and all. So you need to go to the Aegis to get your search. You pay a fee for it officially. Our challenge as citizens is that we need the shortcut route. So we look for somebody to get us information, and they put a premium on that. And that somebody goes through another somebody to get that information. At the end of the day, you actually find yourself either being
distorted.
for you to buy a land, you don't see a land as, oh, this is cheap, like you want to buy it. Greed oftentimes will result to you being taken advantage of by another selfish person. So do official findings and get that sorted out. For rent, I've seen people actually double, what they call them. In fact, I'm currently doing house hunting, and I've seen agents that are not agents but that are agents. So what I'm doing now is, instead of going through these people who call themselves agents, let's look for those who are certified to be agents, because they show some form of responsibility, even though you find the system oftentimes corrupt them.
Can I quickly add something?
Okay, the
See,
final thoughts.
to that person who asked that question, today in Abuja, if you really want to own a home, honestly, don't waste your time going to buy land. I be getting land officially, because you buy from and wait for eternity. Go to an estate,
Exactly.
and buy a piece of land in an estate and follow the
Some of them will
instructions.
dip you.
Yeah?
Some of the estate people will dip you.
No, that's a reliable one. Not just anyone, but
That's
to say you
why
want
I
to buy
get the right
a piece
information.
of land in
Brains
Abuja.
and Amas and Co. You go to those
well-known
estates.
This is free advert.
But what are you saying?
Right,
You
so
you
I'm
went
just
to
trying
no, but
to-
you went to this thing. You said your money is still there.
All right, so our time is up. I wish we had more time, but the truth remains that landlord-tenant relationship is one that reminds me of the Tom and Jerry in the cartoon. It will always be the dog chasing the cat, or the cat chasing the mouse, whichever one. But whatever it is, let's all understand that no one dies and goes to either heaven or hell with the property you have. So whatever you do, put a human face to it. Ciao, ciao.